70 years, WSFA has covered some of the South's most defining moments. Tonight, we honor this station's legacy with a look back at how WSFA became a vital source for other stations during the Civil Rights Movement. You will hear from a historian and former newsroom leaders on how WSFA shaped the way the world saw history unfold in the South. Going on the air in 1954, WSFA has provided local family-friendly programming live from our own studios. But in 1955, our lens caught the attention of a news story happening in our own backyard that would catapult Montgomery into the national spotlight.
And we might go so far as to say that one of the reasons the bus boycott was successful was the caliber of news coverage the bus boycott received from WSFA. Mainly.
It was a pivotal time in American history. The bus boycott was organized to protest racial segregation on public buses in Montgomery. WSFA was there on the ground with our cameras rolling, capturing the civil rights movement.
You didn't feel as if the wall was quite as tall all of a sudden with the introduction of WSFA into our lives.
News has always been a priority for WSFA, and the station invested in the right equipment to bring stories big and small to our viewers. WSFA was one of the first TV stations in the country to own film processing equipment, and that allowed us to process and feed news stories to the networks.
I remember, for instance, NBC News moving into our news department. We were running not only WSFA, but we were essentially at that time running NBC News because they lived with us. Mm-hmm. And we were required to, I say required, they requested, and of course we complied. We processed all of their film at that time.
But no single event would capture the tension that was happening in the South than Bloody Sunday. On March 7th, 1965, marchers were brutally beaten trying to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge in the fight for voting rights.
They were attacked, and some were brutally beaten. What happened in Selma was an American tragedy.
Charles Canton, a former WSFA 12 news director, called the television the impetus of the movement.
I would be the first to admit that the civil rights struggle would not have come as far as quickly had not television been around.
A number of leaders emerged during the civil rights movement, including Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He moved to Montgomery in 1954 to lead the congregation at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church and became a familiar face of the civil rights movement.
WSFA helped to introduce Dr. King to the nation.
From local stories to national interests, WSFA 12 News will continue to be a leader when it comes to news and covering what's important to our community. And if you would like to see more on our 70th anniversary, just visit our website, WSFA.com, and look for WSFA 70th. Alabama's weather.